Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Xtremetarot, where we do moon readings and zodiac readings. Today we're doing a moon reading for the new moon in Leo that's happening on August 17th, coming up in a couple days. So I have some obviously pre-shuffled cards here. This is representing the general energies coming through. This is how it's going to affect the collective watching, the viewer. So let's start and jump right in. I also shuffled a song for this reading and I got Why Don't We Fall in Love by Amory, which is like a really, I like that vibe. But even if you're already like in a partnership, I just wanted to say this. It doesn't have to be like, let's fall in love. Like, why don't we fall in love? But like, why don't I get a new job? Like, why don't I start that business? Why don't you? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of like the vibe coming through here. Like, why don't you do what you want to do? Try something new. Hold on. Let me just see. This candle is like, I need a new candle. I don't know if it's gonna make it. I might have to go grab another one. Oh my god. All right, anyway, but like almost like, why don't you go do what you want kind of a thing. It's kind of like the threshold card talks about like an opportunity, a gateway, almost like leaving the you behind, like that you once were, and kind of stepping into this new version of yourself. But it's like, look what's on the other side of the threshold. Even though that is a scary thought of like leaving something behind and sort of stepping into a new like phase of your life is kind of what I'm getting. Almost like a coming of age kind of a thing. Which makes sense, because think about it, it's like August right now, like people are going to be like going away to school for the first time and stuff like that. So even like parents could be like sending their kids to like kindergarten for the first time, because like the Leo moon talks a lot about children and things like that. So anyway, I feel like it could just be like, but it doesn't have to be just that, but it's like that sense of like coming of age, like you know, like entering a new phase of your life here. And even if it's just like, okay, you're going into middle school for the first time, it is almost like you're leaving behind like that childhood. And it's like, oh, middle school, that's where like when you're like a teenager, like for the first time you're like a teenager and stuff. Not when you first go, but you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like entering a new phase of your life, which is scary, but also like we see the coloring here is very bright and sunshiny. It's like, it's time to sort of like step into the new era. My candle just went out. All right, I'm gonna go grab a candle. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, so like it's like almost like a coming of age feeling, a new era, but like a happier one, you know. It's like exciting. It's like the feel of like going back to school kind of a thing, but getting like your fresh clothes, like, you know what I mean, like the good parts of it I'm kind of getting. Hold on, why is this candle not lighting? All right. Can you just stay there and not catch on fire? I think I'm gonna put you over here. Maybe like lower this fan. Okay, so sorry about that. If you're still here, thanks for bearing with me. So yeah, so it's funny too, because this bright destiny card, again, it's kind of like a bright destiny, like, you know, good changes on the horizon, like, you know, it's maybe gonna be scary. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. So that kind of speaks of like some maybe struggle or strife in the recent past or something like that. But it's like we're kind of like breaking through. But this card also talks about leaving a part of yourself behind and like sort of stepping into a new energy for yourself here. So I feel like that's like a recurrent theme. It's like, it's almost like as if you don't have a choice, kind of like, it's just like the energy is like very strong and potent. So yeah, but I think it is like a positive, even like the song that we got, Why Don't We Fall in Love? I mean, that's a very like, it's like a happy song. It reminds me of like spring break when I was 14, my freshman year of high school, and I don't know, it just was like a happy time in my life. I don't know, it just like, that song like brings to mind like happy like memories and stuff like that. So I feel like whatever memories are going to be making are going to be happy ones that you look back on later, or something like that is another message I'm getting. We have the Taurus energy I have. So it's like, yes, it is like a new chapter of your life beginning, but Taurus energy, this card, the Taurus card, is equivalent basically to like the Hierophant card in the deck. So even if it is a new era, it's nothing radical. It's nothing like weird or too off the beaten path. It is new. It's like stepping into like a new era here. But like, for instance, say you've been single for a while, because obviously the song, Why Don't We Fall in Love? So we have this house one, which can be about individual, like the self, individuality, self-image, and approach to life. So we have that kind of card. And then Taurus energy, this card was talking about, like, say like there is a new relationship starting. It was saying how Taurus rules like sensual things like food and like pleasure and things like that. And we actually had the pleasure card on the bottom of the deck for this power card here. So oh look, and even we have like the Siren, we have, which is like, so maybe you're like feeling called to like a certain lover or something like that. We have It's Time to Take Action, New Moon in Aries. So like we have a lot of cards like denoting like that sort of having a siren call, being called to something that you know like makes you happy. And that's what this Taurus energy is. It's not something radical that's like uncomfortable to like step into necessarily. Maybe it's sort of like uncomfortable for you to kind of have a new approach to life here. Maybe you've been sort of like bopping along, doing things a certain way, and it's like time to sort of try a new approach, because this says approach to life. So I feel like that could be it. That's maybe where the discomfort is coming from. But whatever you're trying to go after here, whether that be a job, starting a new business, just a new way of being, a new relationship, whatever it is, whatever you want, and you're going to start, your approach to life is what it needs to change in order to make that happen. But the Taurus energy was talking about how, like, well, first of all, right, it's not too radical of a change. But like, if like, oh, it was saying that like a new relationship that would like start under like, you know, this energy would be characterized by like relaxation, comfort. It talked about like lots of like sexual like nights or like hours of lovemaking. I forgot how it said it, but should we just look at it quick because it was kind of cute. I'll read just that part. Okay, the sign of Taurus symbolizes the sensuous nature, sex, food, and comfort. So a passionate lover may be on the horizon, and long and fervent lovemaking sessions may be in store. You may connect with a paramour who wishes to take care of you, or vice versa. The desire for comfort and relaxation will be a part of this relationship. And then this was talking about, yeah, the Taurus card corresponds to the Hierophant card in the tarot. So this indicates tradition and not so much being brash, controversial, excuse me, or eccentric. Taurus, of course, is bullish, so you may encounter a few stubborn or obstinate individuals. Anything offbeat won't serve you at this time. Whatever you do now will take on a practical or conservative tone. So it's like we kind of want to step outside our comfort zone to some extent, like, and try a new approach, but like not towards something that it's like super radical, like not something that like, if you're like into it, I guess that's just the way to know, like, you know what I mean? Like, because we have this house 9, the spiritual growth, which talks about expansion. But when it's like spiritual growth, like even just being spiritual in general, to me, like spiritual just means like being real, like being real to like your own heart. Like, what do you actually want? Like, what do you want to do? Like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know. And but it's just like sometimes that can get, what's the word, like shunted to the side maybe in favor of what you think other people want, society's expectations and things like that. So it's not necessarily about doing something radical, going so against the grain, just doing something like the opposite of what you want. No, it's actually like honing in on what exactly you do want without the pressure of like other people, because we have this octopus energy. So now we're moving down here into how this energy can like affect you, the viewer. And like the octopus is a very intelligent energy, but it's also an energy that lacks boundaries. So there could be a need to sort of like do what's best for you without other people's needs necessarily being a factor in a way. You see the way this girl kind of is like her hands are like in prayer, but she's like turning away from this octopus. So you could have some people in your life that are either like trying to kind of be a little bit bossy and tell you what to do, or that you just think that they have these certain expectations, maybe very traditional expectations of you, and you're sort of wanting to like go a different direction. Or just maybe like this looks like a sourpuss, maybe like negative or judgmental, or this card talks about people that drain your energy. And it's like, if something isn't like making you feel good, I mean, there's certain people like you can't avoid, family, co-workers and stuff like that, where it's like they're just in, you have to see them, whether it's like on a daily basis, on like a monthly basis, at like family functions or whatever the case may be. It's like you really can't avoid people like that, but you can set boundaries. Even this threshold looks like a boundary, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if they want to be in sort of like this dark energy, beautiful, fine, that's up to you. Like, live your life. Like, you know, we're not here to tell other people how to live their life, but we're only here to sort of do what's best for us and keep our own energy protected as well. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's where you're at, because you see this like pleasure card, and also we have this discernment card on the bottom of the deck. It's like, I feel like the octopus, again, is a very perceptive, smart energy. So it's like, if you've really like observed a certain person in your life, if this is applying, if this is resonating, and you find that all they do is really drain your energy or something like that, it's like, you need to keep your own peace. That is your priority. They can make themselves their priority and try to, you know, find their own peace. It's not your job. It's not our job to, like, you know, help other people. Even though this does say double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity, I feel like you could be somebody that sort of gets sucked into other people's energy. And oh, these tentacles, I'm just noticing the grips, like it's almost like their energy sort of like encompasses you and like drags you down. And I feel like you're trying to sort of like erect a sort of barrier, maybe between certain people in your life that you feel like just sort of drain your energy. And just, if you're around people and you're just always constantly feeling bad, just feeling like an icky sort of a feeling, like an oppressed sort of a feeling, I mean, it's like, there you go. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's nothing wrong. Again, we're going back to this spiritual growth, this 9th house and this power card. It's like, there's nothing wrong with like erecting a boundary. It doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to be mean. It doesn't mean you have to tell this person they're a bad person, or it doesn't even mean that they are a bad person. They're just a different energy from you that you maybe need some space from. You need to erect a sort of like boundary here, because that's what this card talks about. Like, that was like a main message coming through, but also about people's expectations. You can set your own boundaries, and you know, your approach to life can be to not let other people's opinions influence you deciding what you want to do with your life. That's another, it's like stepping into your autonomy here with this full moon power energy. It's really harnessing the power, and this might be shocking to some people. It might seem erratic. It might seem like this card was saying, like what was that N-word? Oh my God. What was it that they were using? Brash, controversial. Okay, I don't know. Radical. I don't know why I said N. It's an R word. It might seem radical to people, like you're just changing your, you know, energy in like one day or something, but it's like people don't just usually like change their energy in one day. It's like sort of like built up over time, and then there's like maybe like a last straw that comes, and that's what sort of happens fast. But like, you know, you're allowed to change your mind. The octopus is the, even though it's a water energy, it's in the realm of the mind, because the crown is being highlighted here. So yeah, but look, we have the door to romance here, and right underneath this power card. So it's like, I mean, these doors are opening. We have abundance here. Enjoy the bounty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming to you. Celebration, a positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success and enjoy your achievements. It's like, you know, enjoy, seek out more opportunities to like enjoy your life, and to like surround yourself with people that truly bring you joy and that truly like make you laugh, and you're happy when you're with them. Like, notice, you know, the way that you feel when you're with certain people. And, you know, a lot of times we feel duty bound to sort of, especially if we see somebody that's maybe like, you know, in this sort of darker caterpillar energy here, and we're more in like the butterfly energy, where we've like sort of faced ourselves in the mirror and evolved past certain things. It's like we feel maybe that we want to help them, and that we want to uplift them and stuff like that, and we take on like their burden as well as our own, and then we lose track of our own life, and it starts like, you know, pulling our own vibration down and keeping us from sort of like manifesting certain things and like aligning with the energies of like abundance and romance and like, you know, kind of what this Leo energy is all about. Fun, like creativity, like romance is in the air here. Like even with that song, Why Don't We Fall in Love? It's like there's like a new happy chapter starting, you know what I mean? Like you can wish, you know, people like this the best. You know, I hope you find your happiness. I hope you, you know, whatever it is that is sort of like having a negative effect on you that you need to like erect a boundary like with, like, you know, I hope that, you know, one day we get along. I hope that one day, you know, it's different, but you know, for right now, it's like, it is what it is. You're sort of closing your eyes and turning away for your own peace. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like overall, this is like positive vibes coming through. You know, Leo energy talks about like, you know, stepping into your confidence and, realizing sort of like the power that you have like with that power energy, because it's like Leo is like the king of the jungle, but also has a really big heart. I was saying this in another reading like the other day. So that's what, and Leos are known for being loyal. And, you know, so they have that sort of like integrity of the soul, you know, and I feel like, you know, when you're like that kind of a person and you have that sort of loyalty and integrity, it's good, but save it for the people that give it back to you. Don't just be like, maybe think about if you're kind of giving it away to people that don't appreciate it, or just like kind of like sucking it up like a vacuum and like draining it out of you, and then there's none left for yourself. That's not balanced. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right. Let's see what energies, events, and emotions are coming through with this Leo new moon for the collective watching. We have the Five of Cups. Okay, not what I was expecting. Let's see what energies, events, and emotions are coming through for this Leo new moon. Oh, we have the Nine of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Okay. What energies, events, and emotions are coming through for this Leo new moon? We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Okay, and then we have the Two of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I feel like this boundaries thing is really coming through, because I almost feel like this isn't necessarily representative of you. Again, I'm sort of getting this vibe. I'm gonna also get, where are these cards? These, to sort of clarify. Let me just like turn them. What energies, events, and oh, why is that turned? Are coming through with this. Oh my god. Alright, these are just going nuts. We have Seahorse, family matters, coming over this Five of Cups. So again, it could be like somebody in your family that's sort of draining your energy, or making you feel bad, or it's not even that they're wrong and you're right, but it's just more so that you just need space from them or something like that. Or there could be some sadness coming through, I guess, with your family. Advice from a friend with the Nine of Wands. All right, what else is coming through? Oh, target a goal-oriented person. Okay. What else? Broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. And that's so interesting, because this card was talking about how like you're leaving something behind to enter into like a new phase of your life here. But I feel like this might be signifying like the end of like another relationship, or you're just like, because there is a lot of like kind of ending energy here, like the end of a cycle, but then the beginning. So it's like you might have one final like emotional push here, but we have a lot of like good cards. So I feel like even if a little sadness does come through, it's not necessarily going to be, should I take these three? I don't know. All right, let's just see what it says. It's not necessarily going to be anything major. It's going to be, you're going to feel good again soon. So we have the Tulip, great passion, Table, hard work ahead, and Bow, you are highly thought of. So, okay. So So what do we have here? So I feel like, yeah, with the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Wands, but just the way, again, that this, it looks like he's sort of like putting boundaries in place. The 9 of Wands a lot of times does talk about boundaries. So again, it's like from somebody's like sob story or something like that. You see that, and it's like this person's kind of like, all right, like, I really can't help you. Like, you can only help yourself, which again, I don't know if that's like a great attitude to have in general necessarily, but it's, for instance, it's like somebody that has the same problem over and over and over again, and you give the same advice like over and over and over again, and they don't take it and kind of keep repeating the same pattern. It's like, okay, like then I mean, you're just kind of like doing the same thing and expecting different results. Like the definition of insanity. It's like with a person like that, it's like it is best to sort of create your own boundaries and to just let them figure it out. Then they don't want to take your advice, or, you know, they don't want to like change their behavior in a way that like you're trying to point out to them is very obvious, then, you know, that's on them, and like they can figure it out, just like you can figure it out too. If there's some sort of a consequence, you know, you can face that on your own, kind of. But this, with the bow, you are highly thought of. So I feel like it is very important for you, like what other people think of you. And I feel like that's why it could be difficult for you to sort of like, not even that like you care so much what other people think about you, but I feel like this is sort of like an energy coming in where you genuinely enjoy helping people, like Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Like you like to uplift people, you like to make people feel better. I feel like this is like a passion of yours. It hurts you to see other people in pain, and it's like almost like you're okay to like sort of take the hit at the expense of like your own energy being deflated. But I think Spirit's really coming through to be like, no, you have to make yourself a priority. And that's what Leo energy is about. It's kind of like a time when like, not, because like kind of like this shadow side of Leo can be to be a little self-absorbed or like selfish. And it's like more like self-absorbed. But it's not that we're saying to go to that extreme either. But like, you know what I mean? It's not a bad thing to like focus on yourself and to like want your own energy, to sort of like do what you do for others for yourself, and like protect your own energy and uplift yourself, you know what I mean? So that could make that your mission, like during this Leo new moon. That's what I would say. But then like moving over here, we have the 5 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords. So I feel like there is some sort of story that you've been telling yourself, where like you have a goal here with the 5 of Pentacles, but it's almost like you're sort of telling yourself a story of like you'll never reach this goal, or you're kind of quitting before you start or something like that. And broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. So I feel like you're kind of keeping yourself stuck in like a lack mentality. And that's what this new phase is all about, sort of breaking out of that pattern and telling yourself a different story, and telling yourself like, why don't I fall in love with somebody? Like, why can't I fall in love with somebody? Like, why not? Like, you know what I mean? Why? Because I haven't found somebody yet. That doesn't mean like, who knows what's going to happen. Like 3 weeks from now, I could be walking down the street, bam, like meet the love of my life. Like, you never know how these things could happen. Like, it could really happen out of nowhere. And I feel like there is some sort of admirer here. And I see like great passion kind of coming in the future here with the Ace of Pentacles, some sort of like romantic offer coming through. So I feel like, sorry, let me just finish my thought. Take a look at your beliefs about love. Like if you think like, you know, what's like a good exercise you can do, and it's good for this like Leo new moon, is to sort of like do like a sort of meditation where it's not really a meditation, but it kind of is, but where you just kind of close your eyes and just imagine like your most perfect day unfolding. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you wake up, like what is your bed like what are the sheets, like what does your room look like what does your house look like? Get up, walk around your house in the morning, like really like do it in detail. Who's sleeping next to you? Like who, I don't know, like what job, like where do you go to work, or do you even go to work? Like what is your day like your most perfect, absolute perfect day, like no limits. And something that you might notice by doing this exercise is that you can't even like daydream about like your most perfect day, because it's like you're sort of like limiting yourself and you're stopping yourself. You're like, oh, that would never happen, or like, oh, like I'll probably be waking up alone because, like, you know, like, that's my life, like, or like whatever it is, like, you know what I mean? If it's about you being successful, which is being highlighted here with the Five of Pentacles, or like having money, it's like, it just seems so lavish, like, and out of your comfort zone, or like out of the realm of what you expect for yourself. So it's like, even if you are able to like imagine it, but you're just kind of like, huh, it's just a pipe dream, or like, oh, that'll never happen, or something like that. It's just like, notice how you feel when you're kind of watching the movie in your head, or don't watch the movie. Like, I would like be the you and in the fantasy, like when you wake up, like wake up in your bed, like looking around. Don't like wake up from like the sidelines looking at yourself waking up. You know what I mean? That's like a manifesting thing. But like, that's a good way to sort of uncover, like, what do you believe about yourself, so you can kind of get to work on like quashing those beliefs and like kind of cultivating new ones. But yeah, and then like moving on to the future here, I feel like, not that I made it past present future, but I kind of feel like that's like the vibe that I'm getting whenever I have like a three sections like that. But anyway, moving on to this section, let's not even call it the future, but yeah, I feel like doing this work and stuff could sort of pave the way for you to sort of discover almost like what your passions are. Like, not that you necessarily have to do this exercise, but I feel like it's a good way to sort of like I said, uncover like what your limiting beliefs are and things like that. And this says hard work ahead, but I feel like if it's hard work, like say like you get into a relationship and you haven't been in a relationship for a while, like it might feel like hard work to sort of get used to, like it's like an adjustment, you know what I mean? Like that's this threshold. It's like, it's not necessarily the most comfortable thing, but it is an adjustment. It's an adjustment to, like, for instance, like have somebody in your house, like what's that? I've seen that meme where it's like, yeah, like the idea of marriage is great and all, but like, can you like really imagine like coming home every night and having to talk to somebody? Like, it's just, that's an adjustment. If you've kind of like been on your own for a while, like, and you're used to like living alone, for example, like that's an adjustment. That's hard work. Like, you know what I mean? But if it's like kind of backed up by this passion, like I feel like it's hard work that you're willing, it's work that you're willing to put in, you know? If it's that you want to start, you have a passion to start like a new business or something like that, and maybe that's something in your fantasy over here, but then you're like, oh, I could never do that, or I would never be able to do that, whatever. But you start putting the work in, but it's something that you're really passionate about. You start learning, you start building, whatever it is, you start making moves and making plans. I mean, that's it, but it's fun, it's exciting, like, you know what I mean? It's like work that you're wanting to put in, and it's opening doors for you. And I don't know, so it's like, as long as there's nothing wrong with putting in hard work, as long as it's going towards something that you're truly passionate about. Again, with this 9th house, the Sagittarius, like expansive energy, that spiritual growth, but it's about just really getting in touch with what like lights you up. What are you passionate about? And Leo energy is all about passion. So it's like, really hone in on the things that you're passionate about. Really, like, I really recommend this meditation of like, just like kind of imagining your perfect day. Like, you know what I mean? Like really in detail, who's there? What are you doing? Like, close your eyes, don't think too hard, almost like let it unfold as much as you can. Like, what's the first thing that pops in your head? Or what's the first emotion you feel? Like, who do you want to see? Like, what do you want to, I don't know, be doing every day, like kind of a thing. And then sort of maybe start making some plans based off that, and like start taking steps if you can. So, all right, we're going to get some advice and we're going to wrap this up for my homemade advice deck. What advice does the collective need right now? I feel like there might be just like a bunch of different staged people watching, because I feel like this is like kind of like all over the place. All right, what advice for this moon? It says to write down the thoughts that haunt you. And I feel like even like with this exercise, like we were talking about, like even if you're just like thinking about something like, oh, I want to go for this, like take note of like your limiting beliefs. That's what I would say. Ooh. Sometimes people put you in a box and think they know you, but have no idea of the true depth of your soul. And again, that's kind of like what we were saying with this boundaries thing. If you're wanting to like sort of expand your own life in a certain way, but you feel like the other people around you wouldn't really understand it, like, you know, they'll understand the new you and the new you in time. You know, it's like they maybe don't know you as well as they think they do, but they'll get to know the new you. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Even with this hard work ahead, like follow through with your goals. It's too many, I think. What is advice for the Leo new moon? That's 2. Fierceness and vulnerability both have a place in you. Especially if you're somebody that feels like you're too nice or something like that. Don't be afraid, again, to set boundaries. Goal planning. What would success look like exactly? Oh my God, that's kind of crazy that came right over here where I was talking about doing that exercise. Like, what would it look like exactly? And what can I research? What steps can I take? That's like exactly sort of the vibe I was getting from this little blurb here. All right, what else? Sometimes the heart knows in a way that the logical mind can't. Like, again, like if your heart feels like drawn, if you're passionate towards something, like go for it. And not that that necessarily means like, oh, and you'll definitely be successful at that, but maybe it'll like teach you a skill that you'll use like sometimes like on the road to your true like life path or your purpose or whatever you want to say, like it's not the way you think. It's not like, oh, like I'm gonna be this, so blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it is like that direct. It's not that direct though. Sometimes though, it's like you have a couple stops along the way where it's like I always like to use my mom as an example because she wanted to be like a home stager. That was like her dream. So she did it and blah, 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 did all this stuff. Then she ended up flipping houses. Now she has like Airbnbs, but like she uses what she learned from the staging because like she has to stage her Airbnb, like she has to like set it up to look like a house, and she's so good at that. Like I don't know, just like, you know what I'm saying, how like skills that she, even from things that like didn't necessarily work out as a business in and of themselves, like still like helped her to like have the skills she needed when she found, and maybe she's not done and she'll expand into something else, who knows, like, you know, but for right now, like I feel like the staging is really coming in handy with like the Airbnbs and like stuff like that. So, and she would stage her houses when she was flipping, like that she would sell, like, you know what I mean? So it was really cool. Anyway, honestly, as long as you're happy, who the hell cares? Yes, you feel what you feel right now, and later you'll feel something else. It's all temporary. And, you know, life is just temporary, and it's okay to change and become somebody else, or like be confident in what you feel that you want to do. Like, you know what I mean? And then notice who's happy for your happiness and appreciate the F out of them. So it's like, again, if there's like kind of like a dark cloud person and they're just like bringing you down, like just focus on the people that you vibe with, that are on your same level. That doesn't make you like a mean person. That just makes you like somebody that cares about themselves, and that's okay, you know? And no one is responsible for your life except for you. All right, guys, we're gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. Have a happy new moon in Leo, and I'll catch you in the next reading, okay?